bitches? What's up? Wake up. It's morning time. What's up, bitches? What's up? Wake up. It's morning time.
Good morning, good morning. What is up, everybody? How are we all doing today? Happy Wednesday, May 13th in the house. Good morning, Oz. What is up, buddy? Good morning, Jason. Jason with the hair. How you doing? What's been going on? How you living? I see hi Anthony in the background, probably just listening in. What's up? What's up, Anthony? Good morning, sir. How's everybody doing? How you know what I did? I don't think I asked. How was everybody's Mother's Day? Like how did we do, gentlemen? How did we support those women in our lives? How did it go? Um, if the moms are here, how was your Mother's Day? All that kind of stuff. Hopefully it all went well. Hopefully you're good. You're not in the doghouse. Sometimes those can be sometimes those can be rough. I've had a rough couple of few. This one was good. My wife sent me a appreciation, thank you for that. I love my plants. Um I think Monday while I was at work. So it was good to get that little attaboy kind of thing. Um so yeah, hope you all did well. Got so many reminders from you leading up to it. I was actually able to plant guys, right there. Like, clip that mother effing AI. God dang it. Why you gotta come in there with the sass, bro? Now the clip's gonna be all ruined. That's a win for me. That's like a big win. Like, dude, talk about like, those like reasons why you do the things that you do. Like 100%, man. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad you were able to do that. I'm glad, she felt special. We owe it to them, right? We owe it to each other as spouses, husbands and wives, parents, kids. Like we owe it to each other to just kind of shout each other out. Good morning, buddy. How you doing? So I'm happy I was able to be a small little annoying reminder for you. Trust me, I've forgotten plenty of times. It's something I do for my friend Scott in the office too. I have his wife's birthday and his anniversary in my phone. Um, I'm just reading something that looks like kind of a yeah, looks like a little bit of a spam. So sorry, got sidetracked. Um, just to help him out because there have been some times where he and I have like kind of forgot those times. So yeah, put it in your calendar, put it a week before, put it a month before, whatever it takes. Go Oz. I flopped. First time in 5 years I didn't get oh dang, bro. Dylan, look at that. I went from the top. I helped Oz to the bottom. Dylan, my buddy that's in here all the time and heard all the reminders too. He forgot. It happens. Like it really does. Like I kind of like flopped a little bit and got in my head on Mother's Day where I had this thing planned like and then it just like nothing went according to plan that the day before and the day of and then I didn't even have like the simple stuff like a card or a letter or a note, which usually I'll get her a card and I'm a pretty decent writer of when I sign cards and stuff like that. And I just didn't even do that. And I was like, dang, like I didn't even do, that. But obviously I still had the plants and I planted them and was doing the gardening and kind of getting that in shape. I got her Starbucks, which is like, clutch for my life. It's like the easy thing. And, being someone who wakes up early and Starbucks being open early, it's just like easy. Good morning, Caitlin. What's up, girl? How you doing? How's life? How was your first Mother's Day? Like, I know the, baby's not out yet, but this is still this is still technically your first Mother's Day. So I hope you had a good one and we're celebrated. Because you're probably doing, I mean, you're definitely doing one of the hardest things it is to be a mother is actually sacrificing your own self and your energy, like your hormones, like all that kind of stuff. Like this is like it doesn't get talked about like that, but this is like one of the hardest mother years of your life, essentially. So good. I'm good. I'm glad he was super sweet. Life equals I need to reflect and get my head on oh, I mean, nothing like a kid, nothing like a newborn, nothing like a first child to really spin that head going. They do that, yeah. And then after a good Mother's Day, we got dropped with a bomb, and now we're going to have her. Oh no, that sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope he's okay. I'm sure he's not moving in like for anything other than like an illness or having problems with finances or something like that. But that's a bummer. Hope you. I mean, there are definitely ways to turn that around. Um, but yes, that's a bummer. At least he'll be close. Okay, finances. Okay, well, so you know, finances is a little better than health problems. Slip and fall injuries, like having to take care of an elderly parent, I think would be a little bit more difficult. But finances, that sucks for sure. But um, there's definitely some good in that. Like I said, he has his health. It isn't for that reason. Hopefully, it's a good relationship between her and her dad, and it's going to be good for you and the kids and everything like that as well. We had parents with us for a bit. Biggest piece of advice: early boundaries. Yeah, that's tough. Early or boundaries are hard. Really, like for me, my advice would get to you, which I'm not like the greatest person, but is like really try to like talk out like how it is you want to parent and how it is you guys want to like raise the kids. Um, I don't think my wife and I did that, but to be fair, to give us our credit, we were thrust into it very early within like the first year of knowing each other in our 20s. So we didn't even have our heads on straight. I think you and your husband being together a little longer, you guys might have your heads a little straight, even though you said that earlier you didn't. Hey man, your stream is pretty and cool. So I followed you. See you not showing up. Oh, see, we're doing this again. Guys, I'm gonna have to ban you. No, I don't even care. Whatever it is, what it is. Anyone want to come to New Jersey and help me? No, definitely not. There's no way. My body is still sore from all the gardening that like I need to like I stopped working out. I just can't. That's the angle I'm taking. But yeah, boundaries is what I'm worried. Yeah, it definitely can be tough with an in-law parent, aunt and uncle. My cousin, she had her sister move in with her a while, and I think that was it. That was the same thing too. It's like your expectations of them and them living a completely different life than you. Uh, like wake up versus sleep times can be a problem. Can you get me out of the 6 days of school? 6 more days. Let's go. I think that's where my kids are at too. I want to say they get out Wednesday or Thursday next week. Biggest advice we need to drill to them. The child is your kid, not theirs. Oh yeah. 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 You're talking about with the in-laws moving in for sure. My parents were fine. Theirs were more struggle with my husband's dad with living with us. Yeah. In-laws and grandparents are tough. Like the molding together and the meshing together of two families is like can be one of the most difficult things. It can also be a beautiful thing. Like for me, it was both, right? It was very difficult because my family, it like really opened up my eyes to how bad my family was in a way. And then like on the other side, like I got such good value and benefit from my wife's family that it like stopped feeding my dog. Yep. We were very much there too. Our dog does not eat people food. Um, Man, you guys are flying today. You guys aren't even gonna let me get to the page of notes, which is totally fine. Don't even think about it. In-laws are just kind of getting it. Good. Yeah, it takes a while. And you're right. You have to stand strong. And it's very hard to stand strong, um, especially to your own parents or even your wife's parents, like it's still technically like a new, fresh relationship. Like there's no good way to do it. Um, but sadly, I'm off to work. Pray for sanity. Wishing you as much sanity as possible in the last 6 days. Remember, they want to get out as much as you want to get out. Respect her damn rules. My house isn't ran this. Yeah, the shoes. Oh, the shoe conversation was so fun last week on Friday, dude. We need to we'll circle back to that, man. What about the respect your yeah, and that was I went there too, respect your elders. So it's like correct them versus respect them. To be fair, they've lived longer, they have more experience, they raised you and you're good enough, if you want to think of yourself at all as a good enough human, like they raised you, or if it's the in-laws, like they raised your wife. Like I love my wife. She's an amazing person. So like at some level, I should respect what her parents say, but it's different times. There are kids, so I think eventually they stop, they push, they let up a little bit. But yeah. Yep. Um Hi Anthony is still there. I wanted to shout him out just because I saw him in here this morning. If he can hear me, love you, buddy. First of all, congratulations on the Topps Chrome sketch card. I haven't seen or interacted with you, so congrats on that. Can't wait to see. I'm assuming you drew a hawk. Like that just makes so much sense. But maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't. But that would be cool because how else would the hawk get into the set? So that would be dope if that's what it was. If I guessed it, just DM me all my points that I know don't matter. Just DM me all of them. Thank you very much. But yeah, guys, yesterday was wild. So shout out to my show, my chat, and all of you, because as you know, I think I came in here yesterday, kind of feeling a little like spirally, a little down, a little in my head, and the the energy coming out of the show was pretty electric. I sat down, I set up my delayed text messages because it was still, 6 a.m. And I just blasted like everything on my list. This is my work list that I made. And I made this on Monday and I did like none of it on Monday. So then I blasted through it yesterday and that felt really good. And then, I went off, had my first meeting, second meeting, then all of a sudden all the responses started coming through and it was just great. Things were moving, flying. Good morning, Brian. Saw Brian the other day. Where did I see you, dude? Oh, Ambag stream. Shout out Ambag, as always. Tuesday nights, community night. You just missed it. It was last night. They go super late, 6, 7, 8, 19 hours sometimes. And that's why she never makes it to my show. So, and then Wednesday, shout out to Ambag again, because she wants to capitalize Tuesday and then capitalize Wednesday is it Canon podcast, one of my other favorites. So love that stuff. Shout out to her and Tom. Everybody. I kind of tuned in a little bit, but didn't tune in. Real busy night. That's what I was getting to. So work was good. Got home early. Hung out with my wife. She's feeling better, like not as sick and laying down. So, like, we had some good chats. We, like, rebooked flights for Hawaii because, like, a mistake was made. We talked about Sedona, like, all this kind of stuff. Had a good time. Set us up for, set ourselves up and planned the evening because it was going to be a real busy evening that got even busier. So we had um, get the kids from school in a completely random order because the kids like to just text us, like literally text as I'm getting ready to drive. Oh no, pick this one up first instead of this one. So it's just a thing. It's always a thing. Um, then we had Bailey's swim banquet, so end of the year swim banquet where they give out awards and stuff like that. And Bailey was going to get an award, she was told. So she was like, I really want you guys to go. So we set up for that. Then Bentley's soccer was like right after that, like changing his clothes in the car right after that. And then right after that is Brooklyn's dance class. Um, so as we're getting ready, like preparing to pack and go to the swim banquet, um, I noticed, I heard, I was actually going in the garage to get a midday Celsius to get me through the, shout out our sponsor, Celsius Peach Vibe. Getting a midday Celsius to get myself through the evening. And I heard this like loud engine noise outside and, didn't sound like one of the standard, um, Lamborghinis or GTRs that are normally on my block because my neighbors are crazy. Um, it was a fire engine and a paramedic. And our neighbor, my daughter's Bailey's friend and ex boyfriend, who also was going to be at the swim banquet and also get awards, he had another um, seizure and collapse. And so that became a whole thing where we went outside and his sisters were coming out and they were just like breaking, like we could see it in their face. The um their middle daughter Ava, she was just like just so terrified and scared. I guess we ended up finding out that like they were upstairs and he like came out of his room and into her room and just started like seizing right in front of her. And so pretty traumatic. She was pretty shooken up, like all that. Like she grabbed onto my wife and like just like squeezed her and held her and stuff like that. And so yeah, it was just a thing. And eventually the mom came out and she's like, "Oh, good, thank you, like for being there." And we're like, "Whoa, we got your kids. Jump in the ambulance. Like take your son to the hospital. Like we got this. Don't worry about it." And then just let us know when your husband or in-laws or whoever are going to come over and relieve. So it was pretty wild. My wife was there. She pretty much missed like the entire swim banquet. I think she came like the last like 10 or 15 minutes. Um, but you got to do what you got to do when stuff like that happens. Bailey was super sad because again, they were going to celebrate like the year of swim and all the kids' accomplishments and just not having her friend there. Yeah, buddy, no worries, dude. Enjoy your time. Love you, buddy. Call me later, sir. Okay. Can't call you, you're like in school, like you have to call me, like that's how this works. Okay, people, if you want to talk to me, call me. I'm always available. I'm just kidding, I was very much not available yesterday during all this stuff. So swim banquet went pretty well, super awkward. Like I'm not very out there in these sports environments. So, like I don't talk a lot with other parents. So at these little parties and get-togethers, I'm just more, like we know one other family. Um, and so I sat with them and we hung out. Bentley was he was okay. He was a little antsy, a little seven, like one of the only kids there. He missed his mom, but he very much wanted to stay with mom. And I was like, dude, you can't. Like, she's dealing with, she has to be there for these girls. They essentially like their brother and their mother are gone, and their father's not home from work yet. I'm sure he's driving home as fast as he can, but he's in LA traffic, so he's not getting there anytime soon. Um, and that's im- not impossible, but like extremely hard for a very selfish 7-year old to understand. So he did his best. He did really well. I didn't lose my temper. I didn't lose my cool. So we managed. We hung out. We enjoyed um, and celebrated Bailey. She won the JV Girls MVP of the year. So she got the MVP award, which was cool. She got a little plaque, her name shouted out, all that kind of stuff. So that was cool. I missed basically recording the video because the coaches like give this like speech leading up to it, and they don't say the name first or like allude to it or point to the person or anything. And like until the coach said like 100 butterfly, I was like, oh shoot, like pull my camera up and like just barely got like a small clip of her getting up there, but whatever. That's what it is. I was there for it. I was pretty sure that she was talking about her, but I wasn't 100%. So I was listening. um, and then we went to soccer, and soccer was dope. Bentley's doing s- improving so much. He's like that close. We got him. I know it's not like I don't think it's legal in soccer, but we basically have him on a plan of like somewhat goaltending. I don't think it's called goaltending. I don't know what it is, but like he stays closer to his opponent's goal, even when the ball's on the other side, and just kind of like waits for one of the teammates to like give a nice boot downfield so he can take it and try to score. So we got him on that program mostly because he's a bigger kid that doesn't run fast. So it was like whenever he's like chasing the ball, then he'll be exhausted coming back. So um, he he shot like 3 or 4 times, and thankfully, or not thankfully for us, but the other team had a really good goalie. So he didn't make one of them. Lots of saves, but it was super cool that he was there and that he did it, and he had some opportunities. Guys, okay, first of all, y'all left me, which is cool, totally fine. I didn't realize we got like 7 minutes. We got to do the reading. Where is David when you need him?
Don't do the
Where
reading.
is Dee Dee? We were supposed to be here for a reading, but you guys were flying off in the morning early. You're here. I see you, buddy. No, all good. Um, the reading today was a good one. I'm gonna try to like skip through all this stuff. The reading today was a good one. Following up as yesterday's, asking good questions, not just about like not simply how was their day or how are their grades, how are they doing. What's up? What's up, Bukes? How you doing? Good morning. Um, but but giving them asking questions that lead towards um parenting, what did I write? Parenting lessons. So like frame your questions in a way that help push your agenda, your lessons, Like think of it a little bit like that. Uh, Asking them, how they were kind today, speaking of Bukes. Asking them who they helped, who helped them. You can even frame it in like a how they felt supported or helped or needed, but just focusing a little bit more on the creation of the human, like their personality, who they're going to be, versus how they did in a class, how they did on a test, how their PE mile run time was. Like still can be important stuff if it's important to them. But in the grand scheme of life and what we're trying to do here, mold these little mini adults, um, asking some good questions can shape priorities is what ChatGPT kind of took from the text. And I like that. Questions can shape priorities. So take your priorities that we maybe we learn from the book, or maybe that you want to change differently about yourself, or ways that you would have ways that you look back on how you were parented and raised, or your shortcomings. Take those as a list of priorities, and then start shaping questions around them, like towards your kids when they get out of school, when they are on summer break, what have you. I like that. It's a good little thought, good little theory, good little exercise that we can kind of um, figure out how to bring into our life as parents. Anybody got any take on that? Anybody got any little stories? I mean, obviously, like I just told a story about how we helped our neighbors out. So that again was very not distracting is not the word. Like it threw a wrench in our plans of the night, which Tuesday nights are already busy. We had one extra event. I still had to wake up early and go to work today. um, all that kind of stuff. But it was definitely one of those scenarios where you do whatever you got to do to help a friend, to help a neighbor, to even help a stranger in an instance like that. Like I remember a time where, um, so I live in California. My mom's family is mostly in Arizona. My dad's family too. That's where my mom and dad met. But so we would drive back and forth often to go visit family. And one time there was like a car crash on the 10, and my mom pulled over. So two young kids in there, pulled over, went out to help in any way that she could. And at some point, like we were far enough away where she like had asked someone to come get us, so that just to make sure that we were okay. And that person ended up stealing her wallet. Like she ended up coming get us, but she also stole her wallet. And it's like, so I don't know where I was going with that story, but in an instance of like helping others, basically sacrificing your time. We were, needing to get home. School was probably the next day, probably a Sunday. She definitely was inconvenienced by the fact that she then didn't have the cash that she had, her ID, her cards, whatever it was in the time. But yeah, sometimes but the thing was, I still remember it as a fond memory of like helping others. My son has a very likable personality. It became a thing when he was young that he made a new friend. So it's now a part of our routine to ask you to make a new friend. He tells me something. Yeah, nice. Yeah. See, I like that. I always ask my daughters about their friends, because my big thing right now that I'm learning and that I'm practicing is connection, is creating these bonds here, in my work life, in my social life, and then making sure that my good morning, deepest. How you doing, buddy? How have you been? It's been a long time. We're just hanging out like we do every morning, man. Um, and so that's been my thing, is asking them how their friends are doing, how their interactions were today, that kind of stuff. Good, bought a new car this weekend. Cool. Nice. That's awesome. Good for you. Um, What kind? The old one break down? Like, what's up? What's been going on? You still working? Did you say you were working at a gym, if I'm not mistaken? Right? Yeah, I hope everything's going well. I hope everything's going well. Like I said, it's been a while. We're here, man. We're hanging out. You come by anytime. We are wrapping the show, talking about asking good questions, molding our kids. I work in aviation. Oh shit. Okay. That's interesting. Nice. Got a 2020 Acura. Good stuff. Good stuff. It's a good brand. I like Acura. Nice. 2020. Yeah. Hopefully not too many miles on it. I'm looking at a car for my daughter right now. She's turning 18 in July and hopefully getting her license. But friend just told me he's got a 2011 Accord that his grandma barely used. So I'm like, sign me up for that. And I actually need to text him and say, sign me up for that. What's the price? What are we thinking here? But good for you, dude. And then the just to finish the Stoic lesson was pretty cool here. Kind of a tie-in a little bit. You can tie it in if you want, but it was fuel. The title was Fuel the Habits You Want. So it was a little bit of a spin on, if you want to be a runner, run. Yeah, right? If you want to be better at relationships, talk to people, get to know people better. That's kind of been like my thing is like make it a habit of like slowing down at your job sites and asking questions to your guys instead of just sneaking through and doing that. Put yourself on a screen, talk to people. Um, I know like our friend Sagi, he was I think he struggles a lot with like the thoughts circling through his head and the frustrations that he has. So he, turns the camera on, records himself just on a little rant. And I think that, like for me as well, like it helps release that tension and get it out there. And then you never know who's going to connect to it. Like no one can connect to it. But then one of your things, three people can connect to it. Sparks a conversation. You meet a new friend, all that kind of stuff. So I like that. I like that. ooh, I like that thought in the Daily Stoic of fueling the habits you want, and then the spin on that is obviously like um, paying attention to how you're fueling the bad habits and adjusting that as you need to. So, like, I have some bad habits, mostly centered around TV and snacking, that kind of turn me into a little bit more of like a lazy, easily frustrated person. And so I've just been trying to um, put boundaries on that when I'm home. I struggle with only one thing under that category. I don't have a loud voice. Yeah, I see that. I get that. I'm that way too, man. I was shy. That was my thing. I don't know how to talk at a tone where people can hear me. Okay, so practice, right? Practice, I think, would be the thing. I mean, if you got like one good solid friend, tell them that, be open about it. I think that's another thing that I've learned through this little community that we're in is that, you know, you're not alone. And if you have someone who's supportive of you, um, be vulnerable, like let them know that maybe they can help. Maybe they have a point of view. I think there's a story that I read. I have no idea who it is, where it was, but it was something like this person wanted to become a speaker, like a great speaker, and but they had like a speech deficiency, like a lisp or a quiet voice or something like that. So they just practice. They practice all different kinds of ways. I'm sure there are books on how to speak better, um, and uh, and I haven't read them. As you can tell, I speak horribly, uh, but practice is what the answer is. Get yourself in front of a mirror, record yourself. You don't have to post it, just record and then listen back. Like I said, talk to other people. I'm sure uh I'm sure you can find someone. One of the boys at my job was telling me it's called your golden voice. Interesting. I haven't heard of that. But yeah, you just got to find it. You got to find it. I think the one thing that I would notice or that would probably help is just like find find the place where you can talk about, like, I think this is what like the TikToks and the YouTubes of the world have done well is like just find the thing that you are passionate about, that you love to talk about, that like sparks like a fire in you. Because that's probably where your voice is going to be loud and proud, like the thing you know the most about. There's got to be something. Um, the thing that excites you, even if it's like a weird thing. Um, I think that's what it is you got to find that, you got to record that, and you got to put that on some sort of platform. Uh, I don't know if you're on any of that, any of the social medias or anything like that. I'm sure you are. You're a young one, of course you are. But I know it can be scary. So that's kind of a thing. But you get there. All the soldiers. Yeah, exactly. Like you're like 19. Of course, you got them all. You got all the new ones. You got the ones I haven't even heard of. Um, but yeah, guys. Anyways, I'll drop this German saying on you that I learned today from a favorite friend's podcast. In fact, these two people in this podcast, Is It Canon, they were they both are notably known for being like shy and not putting themselves out there, and then all of a sudden putting themselves out there, and now they've like blown up in our little community. Um, but the German saying is, I press my thumbs for you. And you go like this, I press my thumbs. So I'm pressing my thumbs for you. And that in Germany means I'm rooting for you. So I turned 20 this year. So I am getting old. Nice. Half my age easily. I think I turned 43 this year. So you got this, dude. You got plenty of time. Look, I didn't even start on this little show until like 3 years ago. And this is what's really helped give me my voice, helping me a lot at work. Um, dude, look at all that great, bro. I'm 43 with 3 kids, a wife, and a mortgage. Lifetime of experience from the age of 20 to 43. So, not in my 20s. Guys, you hear this guy? In my 20s. You're hilarious, but thank you. But yeah, man, come back. Come back tomorrow. Yeah, we're not that far apart for sure. Plenty of time. We're close yet far. All those things. Come back tomorrow, man. Hang out. We'll see you guys. Thank you. Happy Wednesday. Enjoy your week. Get after it. Hit me in the DMs if you want to follow up any questions and hang out. Yeah, appreciate you all. Thank you for your time. Later.
What's up, bitches? What's up? Wake up. It's the morning time.